Hey guys, welcome. We're going to talk about kind of one of the most important, one of the most important things you're facing, and that is zombie biased media. Your scientific query is being poised incorrectly. Your scientific query is being poised incorrectly due to zombie biased media. Let me lay it out for you. You're being given, nurture versus nature, the church versus science. You're being given scientific information that's a magic trick. It's a woo. Somebody woos you, they sell you a macadamia nut and say that it's crack. You're being wooed. It's when the magician goes, hey, look over here, and they're doing something over here. They need you to be distracted. So when somebody says, okay, here's your options. Either you're a bad person because you don't believe in God. You're a shit bad person. It's either God or science. It can't be both. We can't just move past this. It has to be God or science. And so, either you're a shit person and you believe in science, or you're a good person and you believe in fucking magic. You believe in fucking magic. You're going to eat like shit, not exercise, but you're going to pray to a fucking magician in the sky and hope that you're going to be skinny while you eat like shit and don't exercise. Then you're going to cry. What's going on? How'd I get fat? God doesn't like me. I've been bad, and God is punishing me. We eat motherfucking carbohydrates. Look at this water. It's fucking wet. What's going on? This ocean has moisture in it. The world is upside down. You ate carbohydrates, and now you're a big old fatty. Because God is angry, or just because that's what carbohydrates do? Right? This isn't some big fucking mystery. You're all eating like shit. You're eating stuff you could not. I was just now in a package store / kind of coffee shop. I've only seen 10 people in my life get a coffee there, but it's the package shop and they're trying to do a little coffee shop thing as well, which is nice because they're open for the break. In America, shit doesn't just shut down for 2 hours. Here, everything just shuts down for 2 hours, unless you need a package in the package / coffee shop. They had, while I was waiting, they had cookies there. They were selling them for 5 pesos a piece. That's probably about 7 cents a piece for coffee shop fucking cookies. What would that cookie cost you at fucking Starbucks, right? That $6 fucking cookie. This is a 7-cent cookie, and I'm reading ingredients. Every fucking ingredient was just food. Every fucking ingredient was just food. Of course, it was flour and sugar and water and vanilla and butter. And that was about it. That was the whole thing. I was like, what? I'm not reading an American package right now. I know that's true. Excuse me. If you're not turning over that package and reading that 5-syllable, 10-syllable, I'm not even going to attempt it, crazy ass words that don't have anything to do with food whatsoever. Don't have anything to do with food whatsoever. You're turning this thing over, reading it. None of these ingredients have anything to do with food. There was no dye. There was no fucking dye. There was no antibiotic. It was fucking food. I mean, it was flour, so it's still going to make somebody fat, but it's not going to give them systemic, permanent. You're just going to eat a little cookie and hold that cookie up. You're going to store that whole cookie somewhere, but that's it. That's the end of the damage from that. And it was probably real sugar. Sugar cane, real fucking sugar instead of some stripped down product that's going to do damage. That's so fucking beautiful, even though that's carbs. And if you're a grown ass person, you do not need carbohydrates. That's still, wow, what a shocker. So cool. However, if you're turning over your American products, reading those ingredients, putting them in your body, and then going, why? Why would God do this? Your scientific theory is not being poised correctly. If it's either you're a bad person and you believe in science, or you're a good person and you believe there's fucking magic and you can do anything you want and there won't be consequences as long as the magician is happy with you. If it's one of those two things, we cannot see a third thing. You're so busy saying, hey, am I this one? Am I the bad guy that believes in science? Or do I believe in the fucking magician? Do I believe in the fucking magician? You're taking all your time representing these only two archetypes that are available versus, could you imagine if you were speaking in terms of this being a singularity? We don't have depression, which is this problem way over here. Anger, which is this problem over here. Discomfort in heterosexual relationships, which is this problem over here. People snapping and murdering each other, which is this problem over here. Obesity, which is this other issue over here. Bah! We have a singularity. Your body is measuring species-specific energies. If you don't have them, if you introduce antibiotic, or if you don't have enough of these energies, your body makes one single decision and says, now we're going to have obesity. Now we're going to have a voice inside of our head that is going to say, hey, you're not that great of a person. Your expectation should be to be single. You're gross. You're going to get through the day by doing some disgusting things, masturbating 10 times, masturbating until you almost can't touch anything, until you're not capable of sex with another person, eating disgusting things. Oh man, I hate myself. I'm going to stop eating like this as soon as I get into a relationship. Right now, I just need to eat like this to get through the day. I need this whole loaf of bread. That's disgusting. That's horrible. But that's just what I need to do to get through today. Tomorrow, I'm a new man. And of course, tomorrow is just a repeat. It's a Groundhog Day of every other day, when you only need to eat this whole loaf of bread to get through this one day. You only need to use this drug. You only need to take these prescription pills. Hey, this is too many prescription pills, but I'm only doing this to get by today. I can't lose my job today. Can't lose this relationship today. I can't lose this work relationship today. In order to get through this one day, to make it, this voice inside of our head is telling us, you're a bad person. You disappointed God. These aren't 10 different problems in your life or in society. We have a single somatic switch, at which time we see society as a whole produce obesity, autoimmune disease, depression, suicide, murder, violence, crime. All of this is just to reduce the species. All of this has the same exact goal. Whether your right hemisphere is telling you to eat antibiotics, to eat poison, to eat carbohydrate, it's all to cause illness, to reduce the herd. That's it. That's the entire system. There's a controversy in the scientific community. There was a guy that studied wolves. And he was the one that coined the term the alpha male. And that sort of formed all of society, because we started seeing ourselves as this thing that's just struggling for dominance. Who's the alpha male here? I'm the alpha male. I'm the boss of everything. I'm the one the girls want to get. We sort of applied this to humanity broadly. And this guy that there were other people that were studying wolves at this time that kind of used it, but this one guy had really been quoted as really starting this single word that had broad implication. That was the structure of the society. It wasn't just a characteristic, a single name, a single activity. It sort of embodied what a wolf was, what wolf society was. Now, this nice gentleman went on to study wolves with sufficient species-specific information. Energies. I'm always screwing that one up. Species-specific energies. Lots and lots of species-specific energies. We go and view the exact same species, not a different species, the exact same species with SSEs. Wow. We have them in a cage and we're feeding them unlimited food and water. Unlimited food and water, but they're scrapping to the death. It seems that the only thing these wolves care about is who's going to be the top today, who's going to be the boss today, and tomorrow they're going to scrap it out. They're just going to murder each other. Everybody is just fighting for dominance, fighting with no goal. They're not going to win the girl, they're not going to win the food. We got no girls, we got unlimited food. But we have no species-specific energies. We've got pellet food with antibiotic in it, so it doesn't go bad in the sack. We got antibiotic water, so it doesn't go bad in the tank. It's got a bunch of chlorine in this fucking water. It's not river water, it's not living water that has 1,000 species of microorganisms that literally is maintaining its own health. We have antibiotic water. The wolves have microorganisms living in their tummy that are doing 1,000 different jobs. The body is counting exterior energies as well as the return of these microorganisms. We have zero. And we're seeing these things fight to the death needlessly, gainlessly. Now the same guy goes and studies wolves with SSEs. Abundant species-specific energies. And he has to write another book and say, hey, I fucked up. This is not a different species, but what I observed with these males fighting each other to the death is not at all what wolf species are. These guys here in nature, it almost would appear that the female would be the boss. The males aren't competing at all. They have their own spaces where their families are, but they're not competing at all. And if anybody were to be the alpha, to be the boss, it would be the female. Not because she's aggressive and she's going to fight to the death to figure out which female, simply because She's staying at home. She's having the pups. She's caring for the pups. He's going out and getting everything and bringing it back to her so he wouldn't be the boss of shit. If she's the one at the house chilling and he's the one out going out to the work and then buying the things and bringing them back, then obviously the male is not the alpha of the group nor of his own family. The female would be the alpha, but of course this just doesn't apply anymore. This aggressive, I'm going to kill you, kill or be killed, that we were seeing with zero SSEs doesn't exist in this species. But what happened? We do not have a subspecies here. Why do we have opposite goals in two of the exact same species being studied, two groups of the exact same species being studied? What? The mice in Universe 25 started out normal. They mated for 350 some days. Just fine. They started out 8. They got to 2,000, over 2,000 mice. Everything's fine inside of that habitation. Then we see the somatic switch. After that, there was nothing that could be done. There was no reduction number that would satisfy the parameter. Let me see how we're doing. I got a crazy day today. There was no parameter. There was no number that would satisfy. The measurement system, the biodensity mechanics, could not be satisfied inside of that habitation as there was zero species-specific energy. And so we don't have a different species of mice to be studied. The mice before the somatic switch and after the somatic switch would absolutely be characterized as a subspecies. A species in first down, studied and called humanity, is simply a misnomer. It is zombie bias misleading you to go, is that what we're doing as humans? Well, we have a division in the species. We have a subspecies, and we must identify that. When we have a doctor of psychology, let's say, and they're going from one city and saying, man, look at all these schizoaffective patients that I have with very specific symptoms. They're traveling to another city and seeing the exact same thing come out of the exact same genome. All humans have had the exact same genome for 300,000 years. So we're seeing the exact same symptom come out of the same humans and going, well, look at this. Look at these humans. It's zombie bias blindness. Zombie bias shades. The only word that is missing is a differentiation, a subdivision of the species to say, hey, look at these humans in first death. Boop. Hey, are you living in a city and suffering from depression and not feeling comfortable inside of a heterosexual relationship that may result in an increase of the population? Duh. Okay? What if we put you outside of the city? What if we put you next to a bunch of plants? And we flip that somatic switch, and you become an evolving human being again. Once we apply the subspecies, now our job isn't to say, we've got this obesity epidemic over here, and now we have this diabetes, and now we have this mental health, and now we have this criminality, and now we have people's bodies fighting their own bodies. I have autoimmune. My body thinks that my body is an invader, and my body's attacking my body with the immune system. Oh my God, we've got all these different epidemics and all these humans, just the humans of the earth. We're not going to a rural community in a developing country and observing humans with perfect teeth, perfect bodies, perfect structure, perfect immune system, so that we can differentiate. This zombie biased media is saying, hey, look at these humans, look at these fellow humans, this is happening to all of us. If these doctors were to travel, the unfortunate thing is that even with like a Doctors Without Borders, you're going to go to a country that's receiving aid, which means that these people are just eating antibiotics. They have no food there, and instead of saying, hey guys, here's some seeds, here's a machine that makes water out of air. Now, I want you to grow your own food. Let's step back and see what happens to you. No. Instead, we're forcing this American lifestyle. Here's a bunch of carbohydrates and antibiotics. And we're watching these people enter first death by our hands. By our hands. Our charity is murdering them. And our zombie-biased media is saying, oh man, this is just happening to these people because Eve ate the apple. That bitch ate the apple. So, this is what we all do. We've got original sin riding around with us, and so we all just commit suicide. We all just commit suicide. That's our end goal no matter what. We would have committed suicide already if we weren't struggling. It's the struggle that keeps us from murdering ourselves. When we finally get abundance, then we just destroy ourselves. And of course, abundance is being defined by a bunch of fucking cement and endless antibiotic food in the pantry. Oh, look at this, I've got unlimited food. That's not fucking food. That's a bunch of goddamn chemicals with antibiotics in it. It's wrapped in fucking plastic. You can't read any of those fucking words on the back of that package. That's food. That's not food. It is not species-specific energies, and it's not anything that's being measured. Antibiotics could be very well be put on one of the highest things that's being measured, but not as a species-specific energy. That's an energy killer. That's the exact opposite. Surely the body's measuring for antibiotics. It's at least measuring for the lack of microorganisms returning to us, which is what antibiotic does. But that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. It's the query. Scientific query is being presented to us as a fucking Wu-Tang. They're wooing you telling you, hey, let's observe one of these two things. And of course, it has absolutely nothing to do with the two things that they're holding up in front of you. Nice people. If they were saying, hey, let's just look at this from another perspective. What if it's with energy, without energy? All of a sudden, every one of you motherfuckers becomes a scientist. Right now, you're saying, I think there's chemicals in the food, and that's making girls' boobs big. They're developing early because of the chemicals in the food. You see the old birds sitting on the corner, and they're teaching a class that no fucking buddy signed up for. Here's what's going on. Here's what's going on. There's antibiotics, there's steroids. They're putting steroids in the meat to make the meat grow too quick. And then the girls eat the steroids, then they get big old boobies at too early an age, and that's making everybody horny. That's our science right now, motherfuckers. That's where we're at. We're in the gutter. If these things were being poised to you correctly, you motherfuckers will be making science a basic conversation. You guys would be making scientific breakthrough if we had 341 million scientists looking at this. Every American looking at this straight on, going, oh, fuck, what's our cure for homelessness? Well, we got to give them a house, and we got to give them some food. Okay, fantastic. We have 0 SSEs, so this person is going to commit suicide with whatever you give them. What should we give them first? Well, let's give them some housing so they can commit suicide with housing. Let's give them some food and a knife. Fantastic. So they can murder themselves with carbohydrate or murder themselves with the knife. I almost said that as a plural, the knife. With the knife and fork. We did homeless. Administration. Administrative work in the U.S. forever. And these people were dangerous. Whatever you gave them, they hurt themselves. Whatever the fuck you gave them, they were going to end up in the ER today. Whatever you handed them, they were going to end up in the ER today. Whatever you handed them, somebody was going to call the police on them or on each other. Whatever you fucking handed them, they were going to the hospital today. These people were, at such a level, we call it IX energy. They were at such an accelerated IX level, it didn't matter, if it was a relationship, it was a conversation, if it was a sport. We had a basketball hoop. We brought the homeless people over to the church and they wanted to play basketball. And these people were just knocking themselves out. Bong! One after the next. Straight to the fucking hospital. People are getting goddamn concussions, getting stitches. I'm like, God damn, why can't you guys just chill out? I'll tell you why. So what do we give them first? Anything else you do, you're doing harm. If a person is suicidal and you say, hey, here's something, whatever it is, that's going to be the implement of suicide. You're doing harm. You're literally doing harm unless the first thing you hand them is say, hey, get in this vehicle. We're going over here. We're going to a place where your body is measuring SSEs and finding abundance. If we apply this to anything, oh God, this person's in a horrible situation. Their health is horrible. The doctors have no clue what's going on. What do we give them? What do we give this person that's living in a fucking apartment building and going to work in an office building and spending their spare time in a park that has no human food growing in it, and 10,000 people, Wash Park. Zero food growing in it whatsoever. Every moment is being spent in a desert, SSE desert. What do we give them? Well, paddle them back to life. Now, step 2 isn't going to be a stay in a fucking hospital that has antibiotics in every fucking thing and zero species specific energy. We can apply this to anything and begin applying ethical medicine. It doesn't mean we're not going to do an x-ray. Obviously, we're going to do a fucking x-ray. But if we aren't applying species-specific energy therapy at the exact same time, we can anticipate the body is going to use whatever medicine, I meant to say medicine, whatever medicine we apply to do harm. The literal oath is to not do harm, and your doctor is saying, here's a bunch of fucking pills that your body's going to use to kill you with. Hey, you've got 0 SSEs? Here's a bunch of fucking antibiotics that don't just kill the thing that you have attacking you, but kills all of the other all of the microorganisms that you absolutely need. That doctor is a fucking zombie. That doctor is in first death. His job is to reduce the number of you. You can't trust that motherfucker, man. You gotta make that dude live. You gotta make that dude live before he's allowed to help anybody. But whatever he hands you, I promise you, some girl with big boobs has convinced him that this is the latest cure, and that is not motivated by medicine. Motivated by greed and the desire to reduce the number of the species in that particular area. Let's see what we're doing on time, guys. Nice. Guys, I think we got it there. If your media were poisoning the scientific query correctly, you would immediately, you can't see the forest for the trees. They're giving you so much fucking information. This guy died, and this guy died, and these people killed these 10 people, and these people killed these people. Couple got married, and on vacation they decided to murder and dismember. Corpses for entertainment on there, and you're going, ah! What are the chances you're going to land on some actual information when the media is fucking Donald Trumping you? Steve Bannon literally said, we're going to do a bunch of shit over here. We don't want them to know what we're doing, and so we're just going to throw something at them on Twitter every 15 minutes so that they have no ability to see what's actually going on. You're being Steve Bannon. You're being Donald Trump right now. It's a trick. Let's throw so much at them that they're so overwhelmed they can't see something that's just obvious. Just obvious. When people finally get this and go away for a week, when they come back, they're like, what the fuck? Everything was a mystery, and now everything is simple. Guys, take hope. Everything really is this simple. All we have to do is get the antibiotics out and get the SSEs back in. That's easier said than done. But once we change the goal, what they're doing for housing in America is always starting with city-owned land. They're just pouring concrete over it and making an SSE desert. if their goal was, hey man, we got to get homeless people in a food abundance situation, and let's talk about housing next. We need an abundance therapy. We can make housing that has trees in between. We can make housing that has vegetables in between. We can make the exact same people care for the SSEs. And when they're triggered to life, they're going to want to. Nice people. And instead of murdering themselves with the same tools, you give a dead person 10,000 calories, they're going to eat 10,000 calories. You give a living person 10,000 calories, they're going to share 9,000 calories with 9 other people. The problem starts solving itself. Guys, I'm out of time. You motherfuckers are awesome. And so, I'm going to do this again for you real soon.